Most people know Charli D'Amelio as the girl from TikTok. With over 150 million followers, she is one of the most popular creators on the platform, but no one really knows why. Her family have tried every trick in the book to build the D'Amelio brand since their sudden rise to internet fame. However, after multiple career pivots and an abundance of brand deals, they have become disconnected to their audience. Before their notoriety, they were just an ordinary family living an ordinary life in Connecticut. They were already a well-off family, with both Charli and Dixie attending a local private school, where tuition is almost $50,000 a year. At the start of 2019, Charli was first introduced to TikTok by her friends, saying,
"I got started with TikTok because all of my friends were using the app and posting on their accounts."
She would then go on to download the app and ultimately change her life forever. She began uploading videos like any other teenager would do at the time, mainly posting lip-syncing and dancing videos with her friends. While her success wasn't literally overnight, 2 months in, she had already experienced her first taste of being viral. Just before heading to her dance class, she posted a duet to Move with Joy's dance tutorial. By the time the class was over, Charli had gained thousands of followers from this video alone. There was no time like the present. After seeing she was capable of going viral, she began taking TikTok a lot more seriously, usually posting more than once a day. She would stick to the dancing videos, often dancing to whatever song was going viral at the time. Her consistency was allowing her follower count to compound over time. By the end of 2019, there was a dance that had taken the app by storm. The dance was to the song Lottery by K-Camp, and the dance was known as the Renegade. Anyone who had TikTok at the time couldn't get away from seeing the dance pop up on their For You page, with every popular creator jumping on the trend. Charli was front and center, being labeled as the CEO of the Renegade, as many people thought she was the one who created the dance due to her videos getting the most attention. This was the first time Charli found herself in a bit of controversy. The dance was actually created by Jalaiah Harmon, but it was Charli who was getting all the recognition. This led to users wondering why Charli was becoming so famous. She wasn't creating any of the viral dances, nor was she doing it particularly better than anyone else, yet she was getting all the views. This began to gain some traction in the mainstream media, with some news outlets publishing the story. Charli would go on to meet with Jalaiah and give her credit for the dance. This has since become standard practice on TikTok to credit the original creator of a trend. However, this didn't affect Charli's growth, and by the end of March 2020, she became the most followed creator on the app with over 40 million followers. By this point, though, Charli wasn't on her own. Her older sister Dixie was also on TikTok and had millions of followers herself. Her mom and dad were also on the app with thousands of followers each, meaning the D'Amelio name had become a full-blown business venture with everyone trying to get a piece of the pie. Most businesses could see that the D'Amelio name could become a huge cash cow for them if they marketed it correctly. That's why earlier in the year, the family signed to United Talent Agency. With millions of people eager to see what the girls would get up to next, they could follow whatever career path they desired. However, this was exactly their problem. They had millions of fans waiting to be entertained but had no experience or plan to do so. The problem was they only knew how to make 10-second-long videos on TikTok that took no real skill or effort. So when they began on YouTube, they had no experience in talking to a camera. This led to a lot of awkward and cringe moments.
First ever YouTube video on my YouTube channel. Ow.
Despite their inexperience, Charli and Dixie went on to also set up their own podcast called Two Chicks. Unsurprisingly, this lasted less than a year before they would again move on to something else. After years of growing up as the older sister and role model to Charli, Dixie was now seen as just an extension of Charli's success.
No, I think it's so cute that you riding on my coattails really worked out for you.
Eager to make a name for herself, Dixie went into acting and made her debut on a TV show called Attaway General. The show was a budget version of most hospital dramas, with the production company casting a lot of young influencers in an attempt to attract a larger audience to the show. This backfired, as due to the inexperienced cast and terrible writing, the show was received very poorly by the public, causing Dixie to jump ship after only a season. With her acting debut not going to plan, like most influencers, she tried her hand in the music industry and released her debut song Be Happy in July 2020. The song, unfortunately, was poorly written and poorly executed, causing it to become a meme almost instantly. In an attempt to break out of Charlie's shadow, Dixie was now known as being a bad singer, actor, and dancer. Many people assumed this would be the end of Dixie's music career, and she'd move on to something else. But with the music video on over 100 million views, and the song being streamed millions of times, Dixie secured herself a record label deal. She has since released multiple singles over the past few years, including getting features from the likes of Wiz Khalifa and Liam Payne. They both continued making videos on their own YouTube channel, often collaborating with other creators. By the end of 2020, the D'Amelio family channel was created to allow their fans to get a look behind the scenes. Unbeknown to them, this channel created one of the biggest problems for the D'Amelio family. After struggling to connect with their audience, they decided to create a new series called Dinner with the D'Amelios. The idea being that they could pull back the curtain and show the world they were just an ordinary family. In their first episode, they had James Charles as the special guest, and also celebrity chef Aaron May cooking them food. Unfortunately for them, it was a disaster, and both Charlie and Dixie came across completely out of touch from reality. From picking their nose, to gagging over the food, or asking for dino nuggets.
Do we have any dino nuggets?
Their lack of table manners and respect really rubbed the viewers the wrong way. Charlie would go on to lose over 1 million followers because of this comment.
Because imagine if I hit 100 mil a year after hitting a mil.
The hate they received was over the top, with some people in the minority making violent threats to the pair of them. Ironically, this was the first and only episode of Dinner with the D'Amelios, just like James predicted.
The first ever, and most likely the last ever, episode of Dinner with the D'Amelios.
This didn't stop their growth, as Charlie went on to hit 100 million a few weeks later, but it left a negative impression on a lot of the viewers. Like Dixie, Charlie went on to try her hand in the music and acting scene, voice acting in the animated children's films Stardog and Turbo Cat, as well as releasing the song If You Ask Me To. But in typical fashion, there has been nothing since in terms of acting or singing, showcasing the lack of commitment she has. Despite them quitting almost everything they've tried, the parents have managed to build them a business empire behind the scenes, securing them a lot of partnerships. They've partnered with Morphe Cosmetics, Orosa Beauty, Abrams Books, Dunkin' Donuts, Hollister, Abercrombie & Fitch, Simmons Bedding Company, and even appeared in Super Bowl commercials and music videos. More recently, they have tried to break into mainstream media, and in 2021, The D'Amelio Show was launched. At first, this offered a great insight into their lives behind the screen, and was the most watched unscripted series upon its release. However, with them giving up on most of their career opportunities in the past, a show following their lives is lacking any real substance. The show is now in its third season and seems to be focusing on the dynamics of the family, exploiting Charlie and Dixie's broken relationship for the entertainment of people who aren't that interested. Outside the reality show, it seems they are beginning to be forgotten about. Both sisters rarely post in comparison to when they first started, and when they do upload on social media, the numbers are nowhere near like they used to be. The lack of influence from some of social media's biggest influencers is a worrying sign. Instead of trying to become the next Kardashians, they should enjoy the life they have made for themselves.